Welcome to the Power Boating Podcast. My name is Bill Stewart, and this is going to be episode 7 of the Power Boating Podcast. And the first one I'm doing live here on YouTube. So it's a bit of a change of pace, and hopefully you bear with me. I'll probably fumble my way through it here, but it should work out, especially for this episode. This is going to be the first of a 4-part series where I share some of the YouTube channels that I think you should all be subscribed to and watching. And basically, I've split them up into 4 different categories, I guess you'd call it. And the first one here today, we're going to talk about the large boat builds. These are people that have larger boats and they are doing different builds from different levels of everything from minor stuff to complete rebuilds. So it should be interesting. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll be able to show you their channels quickly. And if you're listening to this just on the podcast, you can come check it out later, or all the information will be in the show notes, so you can go check out the links and come check out these channels later. So the first one is Cullen from Cullen Craft, and I'll just share my screen here so we can see his channel. And on his channel, he's showing his build. It's where is it? A 1978 38-foot Chris Craft Corinthian with twin 454 Crusader big blocks in it. And he takes you right through everything. Him buying it, him taking it to Florida. He's in Jacksonville, Florida, I think. And he bought it, I forget how far, it was a few hundred miles away, and had to bring it in and truck it in. So that was interesting to follow his journey, basically, of getting the boat back to Florida. He lives on this boat, which is kind of cool, and he shows you all of that. And what else? He's had some issues that he's had to work through, and this is kind of what I like to tell when people ask me if they should buy a boat, or even people that own a boat, is you should really know your boat. You should know all the ins and outs, even if you don't work on it yourself. And here Cullen just goes through everything. He had a few issues and he just worked through them himself. He did some pretty major work to the motor, or one of the motors, and basically a pretty big rebuild on it. So it's quite interesting, and as you'll see as you follow through some of these things, that isn't really his forte, was to work on engines and stuff, but he found a way to work through it. So I think that's good for everybody to see. And I think he works in the TV industry at a news station or something. So he's got a bit of background, probably went to school, and a bit of journalism background. So he does quite a good job on his videos, and narrating them and walking you through, and they're just quite well done. So definitely this is a channel I think you should be subscribed to here. And yeah, I think he's got the boat actually out of the water last we saw there a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing the bottom paint and probably the zinc stuff. So definitely worth checking out. And for the next one is the next two, actually. Probably, I think the next 3 of 4 anyway, are more channels that were full-on automotive channels, basically, and they would rebuild different cars, a lot of high-end fancy cars that that they would work on and rebuild. And I guess just to mix it up, they've started doing some boats, which I think is pretty cool. And the first one is Flying Sparks Garage. And I'll just share it here. And this is a couple in the US that are, as I said, doing different builds. You can see their cars there. And I think they do some aviation stuff. Whether one or both of them are pilots. They got a plane back there. But in this one, where are we here? Flying Sparks is Aaron and Emily. This is a pretty big channel, as you can see there. They've got 146,000 subscribers and over 12 million views. So they've been doing it a little while, and they're quite good at it also. I forget, I think Emily was either a model or has some sort of background in being on screen and on camera and stuff, so she's quite good at it. And Aaron is good himself, and basically, I think it was in the spring or even early summer, they picked up used Bayliner Sierra that had some damage to the outdrive, and it's a Bayliner Sierra 2855 with a 454 big block and a Bravo 3 duo prop. And they only have a few videos on their channel here, as I'll look where it is. Here's one of them. But anyways, if you go to the playlist here, and where are we? There, $5,000 cabin cruiser. Yeah, they bought it for $5,000. So they've only have 6 videos on it, but it's quite well done. It shows everything they did to it. They didn't do a whole lot, and I'm sure they'll do more as they go, but they picked it up damaged. They fixed it up, and they got it out on the water, and they showed them out on the water doing all that kind of stuff, doing a bit of fishing and staying the night out on it, stuff like that. So definitely one worth checking out. And they have quite a bit of mechanical background, obviously, rebuilding cars and stuff like that. So definitely worth checking out. And the next one is another one that is automotive kind of show that started doing some boats to probably do some different things instead of the same old thing. And the next one is Car Wizard. And here is his channel. Is another big channel. 385,000 subscribers and 29 million views. So pretty crazy there. And the Car Wizard picked himself up a 1989 Carver Santiago 27-footer. He calls it a yacht. I think that's pushing it, but hey, it says he says right in the videos that it says right on the manual or whatever information he found that it's a yacht. So that's what he's going with. Good enough for me. But there's one of the episodes there. Again, just go to the playlists, and here it is. Wizard Yacht, full playlist. So he's got 10 on it, and with his build is a bit more in depth than the last one there at Flying Sparks. It one of the engines wasn't working, so he's gone through that. Pretty interesting motors on these. They're where is it here? They're twin Ford 4-cylinders, and I think just Mercury outdrives. I think Bravo drives, maybe an Alpha. I can't remember, but definitely worth checking out this build. This boat was in pretty rough shape. As I mentioned, one of the engines either wasn't working or was just overheating instantly. And he goes through all that and works his way through all that. He's going through the electrical. His wife, Mrs. Wizard, is doing some upholstery work and some work inside, spruce it up a bit. But he's gone through the electrical, the plumbing. He's taken out a lot of the excess plumbing because he's just going to be using it for kind of overnighters. He doesn't need a whole lot of stuff there, like the shower and stuff. I think he's taken out and stuff, but definitely an interesting build and worth checking out. Now, the next one is, let me just switch the screen here. And the next one I have on the list is Dangar Marine. This one is a dedicated marine channel. It wasn't one of the automotive ones that decided to do some boat stuff. But this one is quite interesting. Stuart Allen is down in Australia, and he's had this channel for quite some time. He, again, is pretty big channel, 173,000 subscribers and 40 million views. And this whole channel is around boating, as I said. I don't think he lives on it, but he's been working on a steel trawler that he basically pulled out of the water and stripped it down to nothing, and has been building it back up. And he's been doing some motor work and electronics and does everything basically. As you can see in here, the anchor winch, he's literally does everything. There's when he installed the sonar and fuel gauges, everything. It's a really good channel. And here he is diagnosing the Detroit diesel. I haven't seen this one yet. I guess he's having some trouble with the Detroit that he had in there. Yeah, removing the Detroit. So there he's in his wheelhouse. But he's also a diver, which is quite interesting to me, as I do a lot of diving myself and have a diving podcast also, the Scuba Travel Podcast. I'll put links in the description below too if anybody wants to check that out. But basically, Stuart, he has just been redoing this trawler. He does all sorts of different videos, how-to videos on, working on all kinds of different things. He grew up in and around the marine industry, and you can tell by his wealth of knowledge that he knows a lot. So he's even got a big sponsor here on the channel, the marineengines.com. So definitely one to check out. And then the next one is another automotive one that was a big automotive channel that started working on a boat and bought himself a boat, and I think to mix it up again too, and that's B is for Build. He's only got a handful of videos here, but Chris, he's got 1.41 million subscribers now and over 173 million views, so just a massive channel. And he just took the boat last month, I think. He took it out for a spin. He's in Oregon, and he took it. Oregon's quite far up the river inland, so he took it out the river, out to open water, and had some issues with the motor. Again, just one of them, but took them out and is rebuilding them. So, or is he putting in new ones? I can't remember, but basically, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a 1990 Riva Tropicana 43 footer, so fairly large boat that is definitely, the Rivas are pretty high end line. They're a European line that have been around forever, but it's quite a good build. Definitely worth checking out. Let's see his playlist here. Oh, he's got 10 videos on it now. So there they are. And again, it's definitely worth checking out. And then the last one I'm throwing in is kind of a newer channel and pretty small channel, but I like this guy, and I'll just bring it up here in a second. And where are we? There we go. This next one is Swedes in a Boat. This guy is from Sweden, obviously, and where are we? Yeah, at the time, he's got 360 subscribers, so not a ton of subscribers, 56,000 views, but definitely something I think you should be subscribed to. I like it. He does some interesting stuff, shows you how what has he got again? A 1995 Regal 272 Commodore. I think it's got twin Mark 6 cylinders with Alpha 1 drives, and he just shows you basically everything that he does on it, for outfitting it, to what life vests he has, to working on it. He's sometimes, when he's working from home, he'll work on it, just maintenance, winterizing it, stuff like that. I find it quite entertaining. I think it's interesting to see a different perspective, not just like North America or whatever. So see somebody from Sweden working on it and just living the boat lifestyle from Sweden. So as I mentioned, the guy is entertaining. I don't know, I didn't put his name down in my notes here, but definitely worth checking out. And that's about it for the big boats. That there's a few more that we'll touch base with as we go. But as you see here, most of them all have Instagram channels, so definitely go check out their Instagrams also. And I'll put links in the show notes to all their channels, so you can go check them out. But yeah, that's basically it. I just wanted to share some channels that I think are worth checking out, especially since it's wintertime and people have different projects that they want to do to their boat, or maybe stuff they're thinking of doing. And you can see how they're doing it. And even if it's something you don't want to tackle yourself and you want to pay somebody to do, you can kind of have an idea of what's involved and what they're talking about when they're explaining stuff. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to have episode 2 of the 4 different channels, 4 different types of channels. And the next one, I think, is the smaller boat restorations and builds. So that one, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on that one. So I'm going to have that one out in the next day or so. So make sure you're subscribed, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining me.